Hermes Gasparini versus Vitaly Laletin at King of the Table 9 was an absolute back and forth war. It is what we all expected it to be. Round 1 started with Hermes Gasparini on the side of the table that he doesn't really like. He was about to have the buckle on his hand, but Vitaly had other plans. Vitaly's crushing 156 kilos of grip strength was way too much for Hermes Gasparini. We kind of sensed that. We expected that it is going to be a trouble for Hermes, and Vitaly held on to his fingers. Hermes desperately tried to slip 3 times in a row, and all he got were elbow fouls, and he still couldn't get the slip. This is how dominant Vitaly's finger strength, his crushing strength was. 1-0 for Vitaly Laletin. Second round, this time Hermes was able to get the slip. It was not easy once again. I think he still got 1 foul, but inside the straps, Vitaly got a slightly offensive position. Hermes was able to stop him, but when Vitaly was hitting sideways, he lost his wrist. Hermes Gasparini also lost his wrist, and it was an absolute battle for about 15 seconds right in the center of the table. Then slowly Hermes added his post, he shifted his elbow forward. He even got 1 foul once. In the beginning, he kind of pushed it way too forward for gaining that extra height advantage. But after the restart, that was an absolute war, which we just discussed. And patience was the key. Absolute patience, didn't rush it. He knew if he went sideways, he's going to get his wrist cracked back. So he was patient and then switched to a flop press, got the pin, and we saw an absolute roar from Hermes Gasparini. 1-1. In the next round, they were able to get the slip. Hermes was kind of lucky a few times because there was an elbow foul when he got pinned, I think. But once inside the straps, Vitaly Laletin's side pressure hit was way too fast, way too strong, and Hermes couldn't do anything about it. Flash pin Vitaly Laletin in the lead, 2-1. Now Hermes is back on the side of the table that he really likes. This time they slip once again, and an absolute war. There were some fouls. Hermes got the stop, and Vitaly cracked his own wrist back by going sideways. He was not patient. He was hitting sideways when he needed to stop, and Hermes brought him back right to the center, and then he immediately switched to a I think he didn't even switch to a press. Vitaly Laletin switched to a flop press. Come on, man. This is a big mistake that Vitaly did, which kind of taxed his hand and wrist out. You don't switch to a flop press when it is not your ace move, and that too against a guy who has never lost when he has taken someone's wrist. That was a big mistake. Vitaly tried to flop press. Hermes was about to break it. He was going to go sideways. Vitaly's elbow went flying off the side of the pad and restart. After that, same thing. Round stopped in the center. Hermes patiently worked his way, switched to a press, beat Vitaly Laletin. The next round, Vitaly almost flash pinned Hermes Gasparini. It was almost flash pin, and he would have taken the lead 3-0, but Hermes had an elbow foul, I think, and that's how he got the restart. Vitaly also had an elbow foul, and after the restart, he got the stop here, and Hermes just didn't care. He brought him back to the center. He could have won that match patiently, but he didn't have that patience. He's immediately switched to the flop press right from the disadvantageous center position, and he got the easy pin. Final round, before we talk about that, I think Vitaly made that mistake. He knew he was winning easily when the buckle was not on his hand. He should have just probably laid down when he didn't get a superior position when the buckle was in fact on his hand. He got tired, he got gassed out doing that. Huge mistake. He should have just learned to lay down. That is one thing that not many arm wrestlers do. Final round, it was never going to be any competition. Hermes Gasparini, way too much hand, switched to a flop press again, this time too early. Vitaly got the stop. Maybe he thought that he can bring him back, but Hermes adjusted again and just pressed him down to the pad, and it was over. Hermes Gasparini 4-2. He's roaring, he's shouting. And we heard the most powerful words from Hermes Gasparini yet. In the post-match winning speech, he said, next year, and in a very angry tone, next year, this fucking belt is coming back to Italy. I don't care if I take it from Levan or Devon, but it is coming back. Now, these are the words of a warrior. Will he be ready by next year or not? It's difficult to say, but he's going to improve a lot. Thanks for watching. Like the video and subscribe.